Hi, girls. A lot of you guys were asking me questions about some of those difficult letters to do. So, I'm here to kind of show you how I've figured out how to do those difficult letters. I mean, I've tried a lot with the T's, and I finally came up with a good one, minus those. It looks a little odd when you look at it at different angles, but I think it's a winner compared to these ones. And I even came up with a good K. Very nice K. And then I'm also going to show you the different A's that I have here. I'll probably just show you one. I'll modify this one because I actually like this one. But that's this one right here. But I kind of like the look of this A where it goes up. So I'm going to kind of combine them. I'll show you how to do that. And then where else are we going to do? The G's and O's and C's. So I guess let's get started. I'll start with the A. I'm going to do a modified version of these A's. If you write it down first, it's a lot easier than just kind of guessing at it. I can't stress that enough. So here we go. We're going to follow my arrows. I'm going to make this nice curvy A. Hopefully it'll turn out curvy. And hopefully fiance gets it all on film. My A is a little bit bent. Doesn't even look like an A. Alright, let's see. These curvy letters are harder to do than the other ones because they have to look nice. I don't really like that A, but I guess you have to do it that way for that A. And then there's also this A, which gives you the option of having that little I guess stem or at the end. I'm not a teacher. You teachers can correct me. But then there's this A that goes like that. And if you have, pliers at home, needle nose ones or whatever, you can tighten up the curves if you like. So there's the two different A's. Now we can move on to a C, which C's seem like an easy letter to do, but they're really not. I found that out. I've tried different ways to make them simpler, and the only simple way I could get it is by following, what you draw on paper. Ugh. So here's the C. I've tried to go backwards, but the whole thing with that is that you kind of have to guess how much wire you need to use, so sometimes you end up with like a giant gap. So there's the C, and you can, bend it a little to make it a little bit more curvy than this one I have here. I ran out of wire for this one, so now I'm going to have to go to some more wire. But here's two different versions of A and a version of C. Do whichever one is easier for you or whichever one you like. This one is definitely easier to do as far as A's go, but if you want that little loop right there, then this would be the way to go because I can't figure out how to do it with this one. Thought I could, but I didn't try it off camera, so I had to wing it. Next, we'll do the G because that's easier than the T and the K. So I wrote out, my guide, and I'm going to try and follow it now. Actually, there's probably two ways you could do the G. You could probably go around like that, or you can do this little loopty thing. I think the easiest way would be to go around like so. And you could make this a rounder G or, a more narrow G. You just have to expand that a little bit like that. And then just kind of make sure the wires line up as much as possible. And curve that in. Keep looking at your guide and voila, G. You can bend that a little. That way it's ready for your next letter. Just make sure, try your best to get these to kind of be parallel so your word doesn't go lopsided. My dog is barking now. That's not the one that looks all sad when I give her a shower. It's the other one. Alright, K's. I'm going to try and replicate this K I did earlier. I'm pretty proud of this K. It took me a few tries, but since I don't have any K's in any of the names I'm doing, I had to wing it. So I'm going to follow my guide here that I kind of have set out. And I'm also looking at my one I did earlier. Actually, this is going to go behind. The key is behind. And I have some needle nose pliers here. A good thing if you have these, any type of pliers, is to wrap a little bit of paper around them so that they don't scratch the wire as you bend it. Like, see here, this is bent a lot of times, but it kind of has the same effect. I don't know if you can see it, like right in there. It's a little bit bent. The paint comes off, and that's not what you want. So wrap them with paper. That's what I did, and it gives it it's easier to maneuver, and you don't have to scratch your paint off your wires as often. So there, we got the beginning as a K. Now we're going to go up this way, and instead of looping it, you know, how you could see it where it's a big open loop, what I found looks better is if you loop it that way. See how it looks like a straight line, and then the loop is behind it. So loop behind that way, and then, you know, if you have needle nose pliers, you can tighten that loop a little bit. Hopefully not ruin your K in the process. Tighten it, straighten it back out. You can come back around and give it that little arc, and, you know, fix it a little that way. So there's K. There's a K. And if you want it to be uppercase, you can just make it larger than the other letters. This is more of a lowercase K. You just extend that out a little more if you'd like to make it more uppercase and make it larger. This is, you know, what it looks like. I don't know. Future fiance is trying to tell me something. Oh, he wants to see the back. That's what the back of the K looks like. So you could see how the wire is, how it's going behind itself, and then it's wrapping around the front. Hopefully this is making sense. So here's the K. Now the T. The T, I have to get some more wire because the T took some practice. Ladies, this T is, I finally found a way to do the T that I like, and where it doesn't look all sloppy. So, get my wire from Michael's or anywhere else. Let's see. This also is convenient because it cuts. I like fiance's tools. Alright, so the T. I started doing them this way, but they don't look that great. So then I came up with a new solution to do them this way, which is pretty much doing the same thing with the K where you bend the wire behind itself, if that makes sense. I know I'm not very good with wording this stuff, but hopefully you guys get this and it's helpful. So what I did was, instead of doing the half T thing right there, I'm going to go all the way up and bend it behind itself, like that. Good to have the pliers to close in that loop if I don't lose it. There we are. And the key to getting that tight loop without bending it too much is holding it closer to where you're clamping it. That way it's not going everywhere. So this is the beginning of the T. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the crossing of the T by going completely across that way, just so we have an even look here, and then pliers if you have them. If not, try your best to squeeze it shut on your own. Ooh, there we go. And then I hope you guys can see all this. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm trying to make this T. Alright, so whoo. See, that would have been like a scraped paint right there. I don't know if you heard that. Okay, so we've gone this far with the T. Let me show you. Now all you're going to do is bend the wire back behind itself. My T's a little lopsided, but I'm trying. And then there you are, a T. So hopefully this was helpful. Did I forget any letters?